Itong investigasyon ng Congress, dalawa ito magkahiwalay. Yung unspent, finlag sila ng na bakit hanggang ngayon nandyan pa yung pera, hindi pa naubos, hindi pa ninyo nagastos. Iba yon. Ito namang yung procurement ng DBM. Ngayon, bakit DBM? Dapat DOH yan. Pero sabihin ko sa iyo, hindi nila kaya magbili ng ganon karami, libo, milyon, mask, shield, bilyon yun. Provided buong Pilipinas binibigyan noon. Binibigay ng gobyerno. Ako ang nag-utos kay Duque nung nag-cabinet meeting ko na yan. Ginanon ko yung kamay ko. Mahilig ako ganon eh. I want it done immediately. Sabi ko sa kanya, it's not 1 day, 1 month, 2 months. It's 1 day, 2 days ka lang. Ito yung word ko. Reviewin niyo yung tape. I am sure there is a law which would exempt you from bidding. Di na kailangan mag-bidding. Mamadalian to, pandemic eh. Lahat tayo nakatago sa bahay. So, minabuti ni Duque, nag-bidding pa rin. Go to negotiated contracts. Ako ang nag-utos. Ako yung ipakulong nila. Pero tignan mo naman ang presyo. Wala pa masyadong kasagsagan ng pandemya. 3,500 yung kanila. Yung nag-iingay. Itong gobyerno na ito, bumili 1,700.
The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. President Rodrigo Duterte singled out Senators Richard Gordon and Ping Lacson during his latest public address. Duterte claimed that Gordon, who is leading the Senate probe into the flagged deficiencies of the Health Department, just wants to show off his intellect.
Kasi si Gordon, ang champion noong nanalo sa ilang taon ba yun? Siya ang nanalo sa Tokaton champion. Lahat puro daldal. Kanya ang tanong, kanya yung sagot, at siya magsabi kung mali ka o hindi, anak ng... Ilang beses na yan, manood kayo, kayo Pilipino, matagal na kayo yan. Nanonood kayo. Ganyan si Gordon. Gordon is Gordon. Hindi yan si Gordon for the Filipino people. Maniwala, ganyan. Puro English lang yan. Wala. Sabi ng pakulong. Sino ang napakulong niya, be? Sa anomalya ng gobyerno? Sino? At ang maalaman ng sabihin, Gordon, magsalita yan. Tingnan mo ngayong eleksyon. Bigyan niya sila 30 minutes, magsalita ng 1 oras yan.
The president also dragged Senator Ping Lacson into the issue and went as far as fat-shaming Gordon and criticizing both lawmakers' hairstyles.
Ang advice ko sa iyo, magpapayat ka muna para medyo nalilipong ako pag tinitignan kita. Huwag mong putulin yan, ha? Totoo yan. Pati yung buhok mo ngayon, iba na ang hinapay. Lahat kayo, pati si Ping, iba ang hirdo.
President Duterte admitted that he was the one who ordered Health Secretary Duque to skip the bidding process for the procurement of medical supplies, such as PPEs during the pandemic. Duterte said he wanted to exempt Duque from the bidding process, given the urgency of purchasing medical goods in the health crisis. But Duque still decided to proceed with the process, and the president again defended Duque from critics, saying he would not sit beside him if he knew that the health secretary was involved in anomalies. Duterte also defended his former economic advisor Michael Yang over his supposed ties to Pharmally Pharmaceutical, the country's biggest supplier of medical supplies during the pandemic. He said there's nothing wrong with Yang bringing in more investments to the country.
Ako ang nag-utos kay Duque I want it done immediately. Minabuti ni Duque, nagbidding pa rin. Akala ko ba, let us go to China and invite the investor here. Ayun, nag-invest nga. Pero sa panahon sa pandemya, what's wrong with that? Ngayon, ganito. Yung bidding, yung procurement na sabi ninyo mali, tuduhin ninyo ang investigation at kung may kulong, ikulong ninyo.
Various industries heavily battered by lockdowns are backing the proposal for the so-called Bakuna Bubble, which will allow more mobility for vaccinated individuals in areas under quarantine. How exactly will this work? Let's get more details in this report from Jen Kalimon.
Bakuna Bubble. This is now what Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Zoe Concepcion is calling his proposal of a micro bubble to protect unvaccinated people from COVID-19. Under his proposal, vaccinated and unvaccinated people will have their separate spaces in establishments, places of work, and even in transportation mediums. But vaccinated people will have a one-up in terms of movement and mobility. Concepcion explains that they are expecting a so-called micro-herd immunity from these Bakuna bubbles to amp up the public's protection against the spread of COVID-19 while also safely reopening the economy.
The Bakuna bubble is critical. Why? You can see the more people that you vaccinate in your home and your workspace, the stronger your defense will be. If we do that all together, then the larger bubble, which encloses the entire groups.
Concepcion insists that this will not stir discrimination against unvaccinated people, but he admits that people who haven't received their job need to limit their mobility, since they are the most vulnerable in getting severe and critical COVID-19 cases.
Discriminatory? No, I don't believe so. I've talked to former Chief Justice Panganiban, and he believes it's not discriminatory. And what we're trying to do is protect them from entering business establishments that have a higher risk. No? And that's why we would like that the vaccinated, in our proposal, be allowed entry. The unvaccinated, if they really insist, just present a RT-PCR. That is the price to pay during this pandemic.
These limitations, Concepcion noted, will only be temporary. For now, Concepcion is targeting the conduct of the initial implementation of the Bakuna Bubble in NCR. Some sectors are meanwhile backing Concepcion's proposal. The fast food sector believes the move is crucial for their survival, since not all food-related establishments have their own delivery and drive-through services due to changing quarantine restrictions.
For fast food, we're a little more fortunate, I think, because we have delivery in all the outlets nationwide. We have takeout, particularly in our drive-through stores. But having said that, we also have a number of stores, maybe between 1/4 to about 1/3 of the store bases that are in malls. And they are not recovering as quickly as our freestanding drive-throughs.
The retail sector also share their sentiments. They believe they are among the industries most affected whenever quarantine restrictions are tightened in local governments.
So thus, we welcome the proposal to allow the customers to enter our malls freely, and as explained by Mr. Concepcion earlier, allow the Bakuna Bubble concept to be implemented at the level of individual shops. So this initiative will certainly help these sectors, not to mention the benefit from the multiplier effect of restoring employment and further fueling consumption and other economic activities.
But what does the transport sector have to say? A general manager from a bus company says they are ready to help.
The bus industry is ready to deploy Bakuna Bubble buses, even starting with one in each route, just to jumpstart the availability of safe spaces for everyone. We have had several meetings among us bus operators, and we have organized ourselves, going as far as volunteering which company will service a route, and even further on as planning together for the organized dispatch of our buses, just to make travel more convenient, organized, and safer.
Malacanang says that ramping up vaccination is still the IATF's main priority. which means the proposal of a bubble system is still not on the table, at least for now. For News 5, Jen Calimon, we are One News.
During President Duterte's public address aired earlier today, he said he wanted to create an anti-illegal recruitment task force to prevent Filipinos from falling prey to illegal recruiters. Duterte said the task force will be led by several agencies. Meanwhile, Labor Secretary Bebot Bello touted that the country achieved its lowest unemployment rate at 5.1% during the time of President Duterte. However, Bello failed to mention that the country also had its record high unemployment rate at 17.7% in the second quarter of last year.
Gusto ko mag-create ng anti-illegal task force. Diyan mismo.
Task Force on Illegal Recruitment, and it is headed by the Department of Justice with the LG, I think with the PNP.
Either throw it to the police. Ideally, it should be CIDG or NBI. Or para talaga ma-focus, mag-create ako ng, I will request Secretary Anyo to assign yung maraming bago na I give them about 2 months of lectures and training about labor laws and about crime. About the law of arrest, search, and seizure lang naman yan. Yan lang naman ang the law of arrest, search, and seizure. Yan lang ang kailangan ng pulis. Wala nang iba. And I would be glad to, kasi nag-lecturer ako noon sa Police Academy sa Davao. If you can arrange one day kung ma-constitute na sila, and I will give the same lecture.
On now to sports, pole vaulter EJ Obiena is gearing up for the Brussels leg of the Wanda Diamond League after setting a national record and a personal best at the Paris meet. Gretchen Ho with the report.
Obiena.
Another record-breaking performance. A few weeks after missing out on a medal in the Tokyo Olympics, pole vaulter EJ Obiena came through with a silver medal finish at the Paris Wanda Diamond League. Not only that, he set a new national record after clearing 5.91 meters. Obiena cleared 5.91 to erase the national mark of 5.87 meters he set in Poland last June. He finished just behind world record holder and reigning Olympic champion Armand Duplantis of Sweden, who cleared 6.01 meters. The Filipino pole vaulter tried to go for 5.96 meters and 6.01 meters but was unsuccessful. Still, this was the performance EJ expected of himself. This is the third time EJ has established a new national record. EJ's new personal best of 5.91 meters is also just a centimeter away from the Asian record of 5.92 of Igor Potapovich of Kazakhstan in 1998. The Philippine Track and Field Association lauded EJ's amazing feat. Patafa President Philip Elahuico says they are extremely happy with EJ's record-breaking performance and that it is the fulfillment of their goal to constantly raise the bar. In a Facebook post, Obiena thanked his supporters for believing in him through the ups and downs, and he says, quote, he's getting there.
Obiena.
Still a lot to come for EJ as he will see action in the Brussels leg of the Diamond League next week. Gretchen Ho, We Are One News.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. The country recorded another all-time high of new COVID-19 infections at 22,000. But the health department says this wave of new infections has yet to peak. President Duterte and his former aide, Senator Bongo, are found to have links to an inexperienced pharmaceutical company that bagged billions worth of government contracts for medical supplies.
How is the pandemic?
And Dark Horse's top fan favorites in the recent interview challenge of Miss Universe Philippines. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.